I guess we can get started. So, how's it going, everybody? This is the second discussion talk, basic spoiler talk, whatever, for episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It literally just aired an hour ago, so we're pretty much gonna keep it the norm where we're gonna watch it as soon as it comes out, and then have these talks right after. But once again, it's me, Broly Legs, and Goss. We're all here again, and I guess we can just all go one by one, and we're gonna kind of, cut it down a little bit this time around. We're gonna try to keep it not as, rambly and going off and stuff like that about whatever. So I guess one by one we'll start from Goss, Broly, and then me. What do you guys think? What do y'all think of the episode?
It was fantastic. I enjoyed that episode a lot. Everything about the episode was super, super great. Everything that all of my complaints that I had about, especially like my main complaint about last episode, happened in this episode, which is awesome. They didn't waste any more time for things to happen, which is great. I don't know. I just loved everything about it. Like, there was just the right amount of action, just the right amount of like interaction between Bucky and Falcon. The world building is starting up a little bit more, but also without like giving away too much. Yeah, I don't know. I really, really liked this episode a lot.
Sweet. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, same sentiment. Really liked it. Liked it better than the first one for sure. Obviously, it's ramping up. I'm not too sure if it's only 6 episodes. I heard, the reports of it. I guess it's only 6 episodes, which is kind of crazy. But I guess it has a little bit of a longer time than runtime.
It's definitely a longer runtime.
Yeah,
I definitely feel like, in retrospect, WandaVision kind of came and went with their episodes.
Yeah.
And this one it feels like I'm watching like a TV show, and it's like a full
I think
force.
That's good because like we talked about last week, like WandaVision was we got these characters with powers, right? These superheroes with powers. They're kind of at an omega level, and then we had to come back down to Earth where it's like literally humans fighting humans. I know we have super strength. I know we have Falcon flying around. It was pretty cool. I will say, and not to go too much into detail of the episode yet, but I will say it was kind of like a little flat that they just destroyed Red Wing, and it was kind of like made as a joke. Like like it's Red Wing, and I mean I get it's a drone. I get it's a tech, so it shouldn't hold too much sentimental value. But he's been there since what, like Civil War, and I kind of figured that they would make something more out of it, or like him trying to collect the pieces, or I don't know. It kind of just seemed like it was a gag, and that was it.
I can piggyback off of that just a little bit, but we'll get into it more when we get to that part. But just overall, I guess with me. I mean, the episode, it was super engaging, and so far, both this episode and last episode, it's like, when I'm watching the show, I'm in sort of like this, like, I can't look away kind of thing, like, where it's engaging to the point where it's like, it's captured my attention, and this is what my hour is gonna be about, you know what I mean? Like, it's something like that. So these first 2 episodes totally accomplished that. The second one even more so. Like, every beat felt right. It wasn't like there was like, oh, here's a slow part, oh, here's a whatever part, oh, I'm not really interested. It was just kind of like boom, boom, boom. Like, just to brush over it a little bit, like, even the part where they were the flag, what are they called? The flag smashers?
Yeah.
Even that part where they were like finding a place to sleep or whatever, like that was still like it didn't overstay its welcome. It was just a simple scene. It came and went, and then it moved on, and it just kind of felt like the scenes that mattered, they stayed a bit, and then the scenes that didn't, they just got from place to place, and then we were good. And yeah, I just think what we got in this episode was exactly why in Civil War everyone's like, man, I wish we could get like a buddy cop show with these two. You know what I mean? like because of their chemistry in Civil War was so likable that we got it in full force in this episode, and it's pretty great. It's definitely like it's a little tricky at times because they're buddy at one moment, but then they're also like super annoyed with each other for like more personal distaste for each other, I guess. And I just think the parts that make me feel a little iffy is both when Falcon is acting very like serious, because I'm not used to that, and then it's also when Bucky is acting super, you know, like kind of goofier or, you know, comedy Bucky, and it's like I'm not used to that either. And so but I don't know, it just works. It feels great, and it's a really nice just set up for them, you know, taking on the oncoming sort of problems that they're going to be facing soon. But yeah, I guess so. Moving into it, what's something that stood out to you guys, like either towards the beginning of the show or something that happened that you were like, oh damn, that was cool. What do you think?
Go ahead.
One of the things that outside of like so I have like two things that I enjoyed the most about this episode, which is one, it confirmed that that's John Walker who ends up becoming U.S. agent. Battlestar was also confirmed, who is actually the Bucky's. He's U.S. Agent's Bucky, and in the comics he also goes by Battlestar because apparently they were gonna call him Bucky, but that he said that Bucky was like a derogatory term to African Americans, so he goes by Battlestar. So there was a lot of character reveals in this episode, so which is one thing that I liked, and also the back and forth exchanges between Falcon and Bucky were fucking hilarious. The whole Gandalf situation where Bucky's like, yeah, I know who Gandalf is. Like, dude, that shit was so fucking funny. Like, also, like, again, like the back and forth they have when they're in the office and they're going through the the staring eye contest or whatever, and the Falcon calls him Freaky Magoo. Dude, that shit was so funny. So like,
they've got great chemistry, great moments, and I loved that it was just such a simple line, and it was just it came and went. But when Bucky was like kind of investigating the people supplying the truck, and he's just talking to him, and he's like, "Look at you being all sneaky and stuff." What do they call you? Like, you went to Wakanda once, and they call you what, White Panther?
Oh yeah, and then he's like, and then he drops the bomb, and he's like, "Nah, dog, they actually called me White Wolf." And you're like,
White Wolf, yeah, exactly.
Damn.
No, but the line that got me laughing was like, at least internally, was just like Bucky's like saying, he's like, oh yeah, there's two of them up ahead, and then he turns over and Falcon's there, and he's just like, hello, good morning. like he just kind of like he's just like gauging him, saying like, you're not gonna say anything, you're right next to me, like what the fuck. It's super funny. Like the moments they had where they're just, you know, bouncing off each other with either, you know, praise or just like backhanded remarks or whatever. It's just so funny, so good.
Yeah, that shit was mad funny. And I thought it was I was kind of afraid for it, to be honest. I thought it might be like a little bit too cringy, but I think it was just the right amount of like seriousness, and then also like the comedic, like, I hate you, no, I hate you, but it's like comedy. It's like it's like those it reminds me a lot of like old comic or old sitcoms where it's always like the person that hates this person lives like close to each other, and they end up like becoming friends, but like they hate each other because they have to deal with each other. Like I definitely
think there was a foreshadowing of that, because Falcon says in their little therapy thing, like, oh, and then we'll never see each other again. Like, and he's like, I like that.
But like, you get when they said that, like, I still felt, I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you could already tell that, like, at the end of this, they're gonna be, like, fucking homies or whatever, right? Like, I got that feeling off of the dynamic they had. But I really enjoyed that. That shit it's too good.
Mm-hmm. What about you, bro? Anything that stood out to you throughout the entirety of the show that you really liked?
Well, what I really liked was obviously, the comedy was pretty good. Like, even throughout the beginning when chasing those people, you could just tell, like, Bucky wants to just do it, get in. Like, he kind of feels like he's invincible in a way, in a sense. And you can tell Sam is very stealthy and Wade and recon, and that's what he's always been. He's been like a reconnaissance guy. And so, it's a clash between two methods, two people, which is really cool. That's the dynamic. That's what they're going for, the comedy and stuff, which is really cool. I did think that although I really liked it, I will say I liked the therapy, but I did like it. I thought I laughed really hard, and I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really kind of cringy, a little bit. I thought
it was a little bit. It was a little bit
out of place. It was out of place a little bit. Like, it kind of was just like a rush job, just to like, hey, we need a comedy bit. All right, go. Have this lady put these guys in there and then do it. Like, we didn't really go by the steps. That's what I mean.
I would say to that, like, something that really shot, like, something that even an answer, like, me trying to dissect stuff and, try to see where everyone's at in the show. I got an answer from that discussion that I wasn't expecting, and it was just like, it's when Bucky says, like, maybe Steve was wrong about you, and if he's wrong about you, then he's wrong. What if he's wrong about me too? And that shows, like, huge character struggle with Bucky, where he doesn't believe in himself, but
I see that. Like, he puts a lot of faith into what Steve said, because Steve's the one that brought him back. Like, it's kind of like, not to be weeb anime, but it's kind of like, Naruto, where Sasuke gave up on everybody, but Naruto's the one that brought him back. So he kind of has that feeling where, hey, I'm the only one that believed in you when everyone chastised you and wanted you.
Because I definitely think Bucky's lost. Like, he doesn't know where he wants to go. He doesn't know what to do in his life, and the person who had all the answers for him is no longer around. Like, even in Civil War, there's a moment where Bucky says to Steve, he's like, I don't know if I'm worth all this. Like, I don't know if this is worth it. And Steve's always been there to kind of give him that extra push, being like, no, like, of course you're worth it. Everyone's worth it.
I kind of want that answered. I mean, I'm guessing it might be a reveal or something that they might hide. But I mean, what happened to Steve? Like, he should be there.
He's on the moon, dude. He's chilling.
Yeah,
he's big vibing on the moon right now.
He's not on the moon, man. He's not on the moon. I don't know what happened. They don't bring him up. They don't say anything. It's like, they make it seem like he's dead when he's not dead. He's there. He's just not young Steve anymore. He's just old man Steve.
That's something that I really don't have the answer to. I don't have the answer to, and I'm sure the answer's out there, maybe, but I never understood. Because what I got from Endgame and Infinity War is that when you time jump, you're messing with a different timeline, but our timeline's always going to be the same. That's pretty much what the Hulk kind of said. And so what I'm wondering is, when Steve showed up as an old man on that bench with the shield, did he travel to our timeline to drop that shield off and talk to Sam, and then go back to his timeline with Peggy? Or did he live all the way through, and just ignore?
That's what I feel like. He lived his way through.
I just don't know how that works out, because if he lived through all that, then Bucky would have been Winter Soldier throughout all those years. You know what I mean?
Well,
it just doesn't work. It doesn't work out that way. Because is Steve just gonna let Bucky be tortured for years to come? Like, you know what I mean?
But I don't. It's because, like, okay, like, there it is a way, but like you could kind of say, like, yeah, he wouldn't let his friend torture, but at the same time, it was kind of like his give up. Like maybe he didn't want to mess with that time, or maybe he didn't want to alter anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you went back then, like, you know how they went back in time and Loki disappeared with the Tesseract, like, that caused.
Well, I think we'll get that answer when Loki comes up. I don't know. We'll get some answer.
I'll have to do some research because I don't personally know. They might, like, the directors might have said something, or maybe we got some intel from somewhere. But that's always confused me. Is that old Steve from, like, did he just live all those years in our time, or did he show up from the time that he was living in to come drop this off in this timeline and then go back or something?
Like,
so,
how would he go back? Like, he didn't have the
I don't know. Well, that's the thing, is that they don't really explain how he got there. They don't explain how he, like, where he is now. So it could be off screen, like, oh yeah, he had particles and he just time traveled because in his timeline Hank Pym was there. Blah, blah,
like,
you know?
I feel like the way they displayed it is more leaning to he lived his life in that time. That's what I feel like. Yeah. But I don't know. But what I wanted to say before we continue on is back-to-back series. Like, the hidden villain is the government. Like, it seems like the Marvel Universe or MCU just hates the government, or hates, the way.
Well, I just think that falls in line with, you know how a lot of JRPGs hate the church, and the church is always the bad guy.
Yeah, but
I think it's something like that, where it's like we have villains who are villains, and we have people in the government who are good, but overall, the government's always gonna have something.
I just don't know. Like, it's just very weird. Like, I will say, like, that part is very weird. Is that they just kind of like up and said, all right, well, we need a new Captain America. Why do we need a new Captain America? They didn't really explain it. They just said, here, you're the next candidate. You can use the shield all over the place. You can do all these powers. You're Captain America. And it's like, but why? So why not? Why is there another Iron Man? You know what I'm saying? Why is it?
Well, didn't they, when they revealed John Walker at the end of the first episode, didn't that guy give a speech saying, like, there needs to be a new Captain America?
But that's what I'm saying. Why?
Well, that's why in his speech, didn't he say stuff like, oh, like, people need someone to look up to, we need hope, we need to, you know, in this time of, all that stuff. Like, that wasn't the answer to your question given.
Because, like, again, why is there another Iron Man? Like,
well, there's a difference between Iron Man, just a rich guy in a suit, and the symbol of America. You know what I mean? Like, people who live in a country want to look up to that.
Like, I guess I would have been more.
And there is a new Spider-Man's trying to be the new Iron Man from what they were trying to do in Far From Home.
Well, that was his mistake. I don't know. I wish they would have, like, kind of, like, gone up to Sam and actually showed it to us. Hey, we want you to be the next Winter Soldier. I mean, not Winter Soldier, Captain America. And then tell him no. Give the shield back. Not just, here's the shield back. No, that's it. But whatever, it's a little tack on thing. But yeah.
Well, moving on from that, I guess, so Goss mentioned a bit ago that we had a lot of reveals in this one. We had John Walker, of course. And then that scene, it was that whole segment with Isaiah. From what we gather and from what the comics tell us, Isaiah was the black Captain America back in World War II, but it was all hush hush, like no one spoke about it. And man, that reveal of how buff that old man was, I was like, damn.
That shit was crazy. Like, yeah, dude, that exchange was so fucking dope. Like, everything about that scene was so fucking awesome. Like, everything about it. Like, the way he was explaining how he was like, yeah, I kicked your fucking ass, dog. Like, do you remember me? Like, you better remember who you're talking to. And then, like, him going from that to being like, yo, like, the government completely fucked me. He's like
in prison.
Yeah, he's like, you want to know what happened? Like, when he told him, like, he's like, what? He's like, I was a superhero. You want to know what they did to me? They locked me up for 30 years and did experiments on me.
Yep, they did experiments, took his blood, all that stuff. Crazy. Like, I can't believe how well executed that whole segment was, because on our end as, like, fans and, watching the show and seeing the transformation from Winter Soldier Bucky to, civilian Bucky, we're rooting for him, and we're like, oh, we sympathize with him. All of the Winter Soldier movie, Captain America was like, no, that's my friend, I'm with you to the end of the line. And, like, all of Civil War, they're fighting for, a Bucky to be safe and stuff like that. And we get to this point where here's an alternative. Like, here's a different point of view of someone who fucking hates his guts. and here's someone who had to deal with him and had to deal with his people, like all of the people that were experimented on alongside him, and he's the sole survivor. Like it's such a crazy like back and forth of the spectrum of like, oh, here's the redemption arc, but then here's also someone who could never forgive him.
Yeah, and then just how that whole time he was talking smack, I was like, yo, I really want to know if they're gonna throw hands and shit right now. Like I was like, yo, I want to see if this fucking old man still got it. You know what I'm saying? And then he just fucking grabs that can and just throws it through the fucking wall.
Yeah, and he's like,
I was like, oh shit. And then they actually like zoomed back and they like showed his body. This dude is still built like a fucking Mack truck. I was like, oh my god.
It reminded me of a lot, like obviously like Arnold Schwarzenegger is like freaking old right now, but he's still like this stocky dude, It reminded me of something like that.
That shit was crazy. That was badass. And he was not having shit of anything that they were trying to tell him. He was like, nah, fam. He's like, y'all already fucked me over for like my entire lifetime. I ain't gotta listen to shit you're gonna say.
It makes me. I wonder if I would have to go back and look at the first episode, but I wonder if his name's in that book that Bucky has.
Probably. I mean, they did. I mean, they fought each other, man.
Whose name?
Huh? Isaiah Bradley.
I don't think so. There was a lot of like Russian names.
But yeah, that scene was great, and then like that whole like I mentioned earlier, that whole segment was handled so like it was so impacting, and that's impactful, and that's why I said at the beginning of our talk that this episode had me fully engaged, because right after that happens, we get like police oppression, exactly what we're going through in real life. It's like so insane how he's like they look at Bucky and they're like, "Is this man bothering you, sir?" And it's like, God damn! Like I got so angry, and I got so like just on the edge of my seat, because like it's like a tense moment. It's like a situation you're not put in very often.
And then you kind of wondered like, what's gonna happen? Like these guys, like Bucky's a super soldier. You know what I mean? Like is he gonna like go rogue? Like what's gonna happen here? You know what I mean? Like the scene became especially because like they were already in the midst of like a heated argument, right? Because Falcon was upset that Bucky didn't tell him.
He was kept secret. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you guys think about? I mean, actually, the new.
Okay, so there is one thing I wanted. So I did want to touch on him, and a couple of things about him actually. So
he was fighting. They did show.
Okay, he did. He had the schmoves. He had the schmoves. He showed up. He kicked ass. I mean, like they all got bodied by these super soldiers, right? So like you can't even like. Yeah. So saying that like, oh, he kind of got beat. I mean, he showed up and put in work, dog. And then they even showed him like practicing with the shield and shit. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, he's killing it, yo. Like, all right, sick. But like, that's the only thing about him that I like, because.
No, I will say this. Like, so I mean, I'm glad Brawley brought it up, because we definitely kind of brushed over the fact that was the whole beginning of the show, was John Walker's like
not really just the beginning. He's there the whole time.
Yeah, I just meant like the show opened up with him in the locker room and all that stuff. That one moment where he was like touching his name and like feeling it, I was like, "What's going on?" He was acting a little sus, but what was it? But I definitely think they did a great job at posing the question. Like, he greeted Falcon and Bucky with kindness, and he was just like, "Hey, we could work together," and he got Bucky off the hook with being imprisoned or whatever, stuff like that. So like, the show kind of framed him to be this optimistic guy, and I think they also did a great job with showing that there definitely is a small bit of something's off about this dude. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's all sunshine and rainbows, but there's a small little sliver of him that's like, well, what's going on here? And I think I said it while we were watching. I said to Brawley, I was like, this reminds me of Dimitri from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I don't know if you play the Ghost, but he was the same kind of like very goody two shoes, like, oh yeah, for my people, and I'm gonna make it all work out. But he had this like festering sort of like darkness in him where he loved to like fight and kill.
I don't. Okay,
And,
so I will say I don't know, because if they were gonna do that, if they were gonna make him have this dark side, like I do think he has somewhat of a dark side, but I don't think he could do anything with it now. I like
So,
because he didn't do anything in that fight. Like he fought and he held his own, but it's not like he went berserk and started killing people, right? Like if he would have killed one person, I would have been like, okay, maybe.
so one thing that threw me off. So two things. One thing that threw me off is he used a gun.
He did. So that is true. He did use a gun. You're right.
All right.
That's why that guy he was on his back and he was like, I think I'm fine, and he's like holding his like chest.
Yeah. He used a gun, which is that's.
I mean, Captain America used a gun in his movie, but that was in World War One.
Yeah.
You know, he was trained to be a soldier.
Yeah, it
back
wasn't.
then.
I've never seen Captain America use a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, in the first movie he did.
no. But as like, what I'm talking about is like after he awakens from the freeze, right? Like not post freeze. I understand that. Or pre freeze. I understand that. Post freeze, Captain America. I've never seen him use a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And when he popped out that gat, I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
yeah.
It's like Batman having a gun. It's like I don't like that. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that I found weird about fucking Zack Snyder's Batman, right? Okay. Anyway, get on. My point is, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna say one thing. This is gonna make total sense. Okay.
Uh-huh.
This new Captain America guy, he's exactly like Syndrome from The Incredibles. He's gonna be this kid who looks up to his superheroes. And his superheroes that he's looked up to his whole life are gonna give him the cold shoulder, and this dude is gonna fucking go ape shit. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I do see that. I do see that.
Maybe not ape shit, but like he's not gonna fucking like go kill mode or whatever. But like,
no, I do think he's gonna fuck up the mission. I think he's gonna get in their way. I do see. I mean, if we go by the trailers, right? Like, I don't like doing this, like, because obviously trailers tell too much of the story, so we kind of like can understand things. But we know these guys get the shield back, right? We know that Sam gets the shield back somehow, and so I don't know what happens to this guy. But anyways, I do see the second part. I do see him, being upset that they're not putting him in and helping him. Because he wants the glory, like he wants to be Captain America. He wants to be looked up by, and I think he's trying. I'll give him credit. He's trying. He's doing what he's told. I don't know the whole Battlestar guy. Whatever. I think he's a little cheap, but whatever. But I do think John Walker's trying, and he is helping out, and he is doing his part. But I don't know, like. I don't know. I don't really like the kind of like took the ball and ran with. I don't know if he has a hidden motive. I just don't know. It seems that way though. Like he probably does, but I don't know what it is.
One thing also that I found very odd is how easily. This is one thing I wanted to pinpoint also is how easy everyone accepted this dude as the new Captain America.
Yeah, that's what Brawley was saying too. He's like, people wouldn't do that. Like, people wouldn't be like, all over this guy getting autographs.
Right now, they said, "Oh, we got the new Stone Cold," and everybody would fucking hype. Like, no one's gonna do that.
Yeah, why is everybody hyped? Like, I don't think it kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, yo, these people like hella went from like how did they just forget so fast?
You know what I the reason why is because Steve Rogers wasn't in the public. He didn't want the glory. He just did his mission, went home into fucking Brooklyn in his little apartment, and that's it.
I mean, in the public, right? The beginning of the Endgame, he does host therapy groups or whatever, and he does he's had his time with the public,
because he's done his whole thing with the public.
I do consider that public though. I mean, yeah.
No, but
not event.
No, wasn't there like events there was at least like flashbacks of him like being in a public figure, like
I mean, the only thing that I will say is that he was in the that fucking hilarious video talking about like drugs.
Oh, that
or whatever.
shit's so funny.
Oh, that shit is funny.
So obviously he was campaigned, you know, a bit. So it's not like he's completely foreign to people.
exactly.
But I do see what Broly's saying was like, it's not like Steve Rogers' name was
plastered everywhere,
broadcasted, plastered everywhere, and he was showing up to like, you know, events. It was more so like, I'm Captain America and I'm on missions doing this thing, and then he's a very humble guy. Steve was like, he didn't even want to date anybody, and so it definitely it is weird though. It's one of those things where you just kind of need to like believe it, you know, like, oh yeah, everyone's just happy we have a new Captain America.
Basically.
And but I was gonna say the piggyback earlier when Brawley mentioned the Red Wing thing. I think that was probably the lowest point in the show for me. Was the show's trying to make us understand that we're dealing with super soldiers, but none of besides the main girl, none of the super soldiers have like stage presence, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like none of them stand out, or none of them have this kind of like star factor to them. So it doesn't come off as menacing, or it doesn't come off as like they pulled off something impressive. So I think them making them catch Red Wing and break it and stuff was the show's way of being like, hey, these guys are legit. Like, you can't fuck around.
I mean, okay, look, I will say it's not that, because I mean, what happened? They all got their ass kicked, and you know, like Bucky and Sam aren't like raring to go to fight them again. They're just kind of like, damn, like, we got our ass kicked. We can't. We're not.
Well, see, that's where I disagree, because for me, what it felt like whenever they left that fight was they were feeling out their opponents. Like it kind of felt like, you know, whenever Spider-Man beat their ass and they're laying on the ground, they kind of took it as a joke. They were just like,
I don't know.
They were indifferent about it. I just feel like that's why I feel it was the lowest point in the show for me, because that's where I feel like. Even before then, when Bucky was walking and then Red Wing was above him and he kind of swatted at him.
Funny.
Moments like that, it's funny, but it takes me out of the, I guess, like the quote-unquote power level of these characters. Like, if Bucky has the cybernetic arm and he's got super soldier serum, like, his reflexes should be much better. But obviously they did that for a comedic beat in the show. And so, like, while, yeah, they got their ass kicked by 8 super soldiers, there was not really any moment where they did anything effective. You know what I mean?
I just think because they beat them, and I think even Sam says it in when they're like, "We don't got nothing. Like we came out with nothing. You lost, I lost, and they got nothing." And that's why Bucky takes them to Isaiah. I don't know what was the point of that. I don't know. Like I don't.
Well, it's because
it'll come
they
out
want to
later.
know.
I think it's gonna have. I think he's gonna show up later. Like I think him. Like it was just one of those things where they just wanted to like introduce a character and like make like just have that set in, and then like either next episode or the episode after or whenever.
No, but the reason why they go is because when they lose the fight, and that's why I feel like it was more so like a field test. Like they were kind of going out there. Feeling out what their enemies were like, and as soon as they roll onto the field, Bucky says like, "Those were super soldiers, Sam," you know, and he's just like, "Yeah," and then after that happens, he says, "Oh, I need you need to see someone. You know, like you got to meet somebody," and Bucky asks Isaiah. He says, "They're making more of us." And he's like, I gotta know, like, what do you know anything? I think that was the main reason why Bucky wanted to go, but then he also wanted to show Sam, you know, the past and like kind of reveal this.
I wonder,
moment
you
in history.
think Isaiah will fight with them?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but I think it's either gonna be one or two things. It's gonna be like either a sort of like a hype up like talk that he's gonna have with Falcon to kind of get his ass in gear and be like, you know, Captain America's.
That's what I was gonna go toward. Yeah,
something that you need to step up to rather than him show up and fight. But it would be cool for him to come out for a moment with like the suit.
Yeah, that
or
would
something.
be kind of sick.
But
I mean, I'll just say this: if you look deep into that character, you'll kind of understand what's gonna happen. if you look,
I would say that about Power Broker.
no,
If you know about Power Broker, then you know where.
I'm talking about Isaiah. Like if you actually do research on Isaiah Bradley, you'll know what's gonna happen. You'll know.
Mhm.
You'll get an idea what's gonna come out later on in the show. But
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like at the end of the day, people are gonna put out videos and they're gonna get these names and they're gonna kind of get an idea of where the story's gonna go. If you have knowledge of Power Broker, you'll kind of understand how he fits in with the whole what's going on with Battlestar, what's going on with John Walker, and where they could lead up to. But besides all that, I think just the episode on its own, it definitely it's doing a great. I mean, like you said, I don't know if it's confirmed it's 6 episodes or not, but if it is, I'm pretty sure that's why the length of each episode is a lot longer.
So I do want to talk about one thing that we completely skipped on. I don't know if I'm not sure if we brought it up yet, but fucking Zemo.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, the episode does end with Bucky and Sam talking to each other and saying, there is somebody we can talk to, and Falcon already knows who it is, and yeah, it ends up being Zemo, and we get a small video feed of him in a cell somewhere.
That shit's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is definitely crazy. I thought I don't know. It's a little. I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but it's a little weird how we got a shot of a chessboard and then a shot of Zemo.
Yeah.
And so it makes me feel like maybe, Zemo's in a cell, but he's got stuff happening on the outside. And he's got people moving. I feel like he's got a stake with the Flag Smashers. And I think it's something to the extent of he's sitting there waiting for he knows they're gonna come talk to him.
I mean, I think that's true, but I also think like it could just be someone visiting him and doing it. So maybe it's a Power Broker doing it. Maybe it's a Flag Smasher doing it. I don't know.
I just feel like from everything that we've known from Zemo in the MCU, this is his life's work. Like all of his entirety since his family's passing has been, I want to fuck with these guys. Like I want to get them to.
Well, his goal is like Flag Smasher. He doesn't want anyone ruling. He wanted to fuck with Hydra, and then he also wanted to fuck with the Avengers, and he wanted them all to fight each other so he could be the last one standing. That's his goal.
But we definitely knew he was coming. We had promotional posters being put up on Twitter and stuff of him with the purple mask, because in the comics Zemo does have a purple mask of some sort.
Cool.
I was gonna ask you guys, who do you think is texting the leader?
So I actually called it as soon as
the one that says I'm gonna find you and kill you.
Yeah, so I actually called this during the episode, and it was right at the moment where you know how Sam and Bucky leave it was after their little therapy session. We got Battlestar and John Walker over there by the cop car, and he like blares a siren. And he's just like, come on, guys, we can help each other. And then Sam says, like, no, we're a little bit more of a flexible group, and so it doesn't make sense for us to work with you. And then he says, like, well, then you better stay the hell out of my way. But before then, like, you can already see, like, there was a moment where he was kind of gritting his teeth and getting, like, there's a little bit of anger festering inside. I think John Walker was the one that texted that girl.
I can see that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I can see that.
Yeah, but
that's not that far of a reach.
Again, like I don't know. I'm not sold yet on the idea that he's evil right now. I'll say he'll turn it in the next few episodes, but right now, like I don't see why he would do that. Like he got the suit, he got what he wanted. He looks like he has a girlfriend, has a best friend. He's just filling a role, and they're pissing him off by not helping him. That's the only thing I can see. I don't know if he's there yet. Maybe it's the power broker. Maybe it sounds like it's a power broker, but I don't know.
Because I know when they at the towards the end of the scene, end of the episode, where that one guy, he pushes down the power pole and then he gets lit up. That looked like a more military based group of people rolling up.
That's true. I mean, it could also be Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more along the lines of like when that guy on the phone, he was like, "Oh, they got away." I think he was talking to John Walker.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely, there's a lot of things that could be spread one way or another, and it's I don't know. It's super interesting. Like I said, all the beats to this show were very, very well placed. Like it kind of moved along very swiftly. We got this moment here. We got this moment here. We got this action. We got this talk scene. We got this. It all rolled together really well, and I'm excited for their talk with Zemo. I wonder how it's going to unfold. I wonder if Zemo is going to be like, "Oh, you guys came in and I had you guys followed." So my people could find me exactly where I am, or I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I guess to end it, what do you guys think? How do you guys think it's gonna be played out with? We'll just hit 3 points. Do you think Isaiah's gonna come back again? Do you think? How do you think the conversation with Zemo is gonna go? And the last point can be, how do you think we're gonna get the shield back?
I guess. Do I think Isaiah's gonna come back? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's coming back.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come back. I mean, there's no reason for him them to show him. Yeah, he gets mad. It's usually like typically like gets mad and then he shows up when they need him. But I don't know how it's gonna work. He's old, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe Rhodey will help him or something. I don't know. Zemo. It seems like it's gonna play out the typical like, hey, I'll help you, kind of like Loki in a way, where it's like, I'm gonna help you, but then I'm gonna turn on you at the end.
Kind of like the Frieza shit.
Yeah, kind of like the Frieza.
Like
shit.
I'm gonna help you. I'll be a part of your team, but just know like, the first chance I get, dog, I'm fucking your shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the third question?
The third one was, how are we gonna get the shield back?
How we get the shield back? I don't know. I think Walker's gonna be on a mission with them, and they're gonna get injured or something.
I think.
How did he just die?
I think it's gonna be. I have a theory, and I mean it's kind of a reach, but I just get this strong feeling that this dude is gonna turn on these guys, and they're gonna end up fighting, and they're gonna end up winning, and they're gonna get this shield from him. Now, whether or not that fight includes Isaiah Thomas or not, I wouldn't know that far, but I can definitely see them having.
Wait, is it Isaiah Thomas or Bradley?
Or Isaiah Bradley, right? Isaiah Thomas.
I'm trying to, because it's MCU, they can do what the fuck they want, but
yeah, it's Isaiah Bradley. My bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I think the way they're gonna get the shield is we're gonna have a bad scene. We're gonna have something that John Walker's gonna do that's gonna be out of line for Captain America. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of like moment where he's gonna kill somebody on TV, or he's going to, he's gonna get caught doing something that he shouldn't, and that's gonna put him basically out of the spotlight for a bit, and that's where we get the shield, because the shield's just gonna be sitting in a locker or in like a police department or something. Either that. Or yeah, it's either that or they're just gonna take it from him, or if worst case scenario, something happens where he gets taken, like he gets the Flag Smashers knock him out and then take him, and then the shield's left behind, something like that. I think any of those scenarios could happen. The one that I'm leaning toward the most is that he's gonna do something really out of line, and they're gonna take it.
Yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
We got Amatsu in the chat. He says, and most likely the way they're going to get the shield back is someone's going to sneak up and probably take it, or try to knock Zemo out and take it that way. The shield back from Zemo? No, the person that has the shield right now is John Walker. He is the new Captain America. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all the thoughts that we've got for this episode. I mean, is there anything? I think the only thing that I want to mention that was really fucking funny was as soon as they're heading over to Isaiah's place, the kid's like, "Hey, it's the Black Falcon."
Yeah.
He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Why you calling me Black Falcon? Because I'm black and I'm the Falcon." And he's like, "Well, yeah, basically." He's like, "Oh, so you black kid?" And it's just like so. It's just so
What did
awesome.
he say? And he tells the other kid, he's like, "I got him, didn't I?"
He's like, I got him pretty good, huh? That was just too good. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was it was a little unceremonious, like, meeting of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, it went from, we're watching this asshole on TV say, like, "Oh, I'm the new Captain America," and yeah, an eagle does show up around me and stuff like that. And Bucky's fucking pissed. To where Bucky's just, "Hey Sam, like thanks for giving up the shield, asshole."
Yeah.
Like, like out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like when we look back on this series, I just feel like a lot of these parts that we're brushing off, and yeah, obviously we love these episodes. These episodes are amazing. They're really good, but I feel like we are brushing off some of these, the way they're doing some of the, like, how the hell are you supposed to? And Master's girlfriend was bringing this up the whole time. Where friggin' Bucky is running and he runs at the car and with the moving van, and there's a van behind him. So there's a driver that's looking.
I thought the same thing. I was like, why are they?
Yeah, that was
why
yeah,
are they
that
not
was a little
shooting at this
sloppy.
guy right now?
Yeah, that was a little sloppy. I was just waiting for him. I mean, maybe the reason why the driver in the back didn't do anything was because, like, she was pretending to be a hostage for a reason.
Yeah, they
You know
knew
what I mean?
I think they knew they were coming.
Yeah, so they were kind of just setting him up and being like, "Oh yeah, let him walk in there and let her, like, you kind of, bring him in." So that could be a reason why. But initially, you're definitely like, "Wait, what the hell? Like, why is he?" It was cool. It was really cool to finally see Bucky use some of the super soldier serum, because every other time that we've seen him in, like, any other movie, he's just, he's more of like a gun expert. He's more of like a, assassin kind of.
Yeah.
But we've never seen him, like, show any sort of, like, great. I mean, other than the fact that Black Panther chasing him in Civil War.
Yeah.
That was the only time that we got something like that, where he, like, grabbed the motorcycle and he, like, jumped off of the second overhead freeway, and he jumped down to the bottom freeway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want now. Like, we got the fun comedy, and we got the more realistic take on Winter Soldier. I mean, like I said, Winter Soldier's my favorite character. So what I want from Bucky now is I want the White Wolf. I want, like, the guy who's gonna fuck shit up. Because we've been getting a lot of, like, his ass being beat. We've been getting a lot of, like, kind of getting, either outsmarted or not on the top of his game. With the whole, like, "Oh, there's only 2 people, let's go," and then there was, like, 8 people. So I want him to step, because obviously he's in a funk. Obviously he's not,
I want him to step up, all right. But I want it with Zemo telling him the word, "Fucking." If he snaps into the Winter Soldier again, I'm a.
I don't know. I feel like that would undermine his time in Wakanda.
Yeah.
You have to. Okay, maybe. Okay.
They put him to sleep, and then worked on his brain. Sure, he worked on his brain.
Zemo doesn't know that, right? So have Zemo do it anyways. Think that he has him, then he'd be like, "Nah, got you."
I hope that happens. I hope that happens. That would be so fucking cool. If Zemo tries to awaken him, and then he's just like, "Nah, I'm over that. Like, I've overcome that." But I'm just saying, like, I hope, like, even then when he jumped, I thought it was really cool. And I was telling Brawley, at the beginning, Falcon jumps out and then of the plane, and Bucky's like, "Oh, so no plan? Oh, well, whatever." And then he goes up, and Torres is like, "Are you sure we don't have a chute? We're too low." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then he jumps out, and then in my mind, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna do what Steve did, where he's gonna, like, how Steve jumped out of that elevator and then he landed on the shield, and since the shield is made of vibranium, it took the damage."
Yeah.
I thought Bucky was gonna do that, where he was gonna either land on his arm or, like, kind of stop himself with his hand,
like grab the trees and trying to, like.
Yeah, the trees broke his fall, but it just didn't look graceful. And then even Falcon says, like, "Oh, I caught that on camera,"
That shit was so funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but like I said, I'm hoping moving forward we're done with like this slapstick, humor of like, oh, you got your ass beat, but by that girl, or falling and tumbling in the together, hugging.
I don't mind. I don't mind. It's gonna.
No, I didn't mind it for this episode. I'm just saying, moving forward, I want more like, I'm an Avenger. Like here's me doing my fucking job.
I don't know. I don't think Bucky will do that. I think Sam Wilson will do it, but Falcon will do it for sure. He's more of the Avenger type than Bucky is. Bucky's they kind of want to make him like straight edge, and kind of like no nonsense in a way. Like obviously he does have some comedy in him, but he's more of a like let's just do this, like.
No, I'm telling you, I'm my biggest push for why I feel this way and why I'm excited for the next episode is because what does Bucky tell the psychiatrist?
The second rule. Like, what's the second rule?
Yeah. He's like, what's the second rule? And she's just like, don't hurt anybody. And then he just looks at her and he's like, goodbye, doc. And I'm like, there we go. That's what I want. Like, we got to step it up now. No more.
Talking about how it's gonna undermine his thing. Like, come on.
No, well, what I'm saying, like, you can be a, like, I'm not saying he should be a ruthless killer. I'm just saying he could be a, let me put my skills to use and, run the show here, but, like, in a way that's more professional, I guess. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the best way I can explain it is whenever Black Widow was on a mission and she was taking care of somebody, she was in control. Remember that, I think it's, what movie is it? Where she's, like, pretending to be a hostage and she's in the chair and then she answers the phone. Yeah, so she's that moment is what I'm talking about, where she's like, oh, I'm pretending that I'm, I can't do anything, and then she just destroys that room and then moves on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the thing. Obviously, again, it's good. Obviously, I love the timing of the show. I love the runtime. I love the duo.
Do you guys think that kid that was in that dude that answered the door is Elijah Bradley?
I mean, I would. Did he say Eli?
I think he could. I don't know. I don't remember.
I want to say yeah.
I've seen so yeah.
So then that's another reveal, because then that's the Patriot, right? So
yeah, we have a lot of reveals in this one, and it's really cool. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that was and we I don't know. I feel like we have so much more that they're gonna do when it comes to world building, and they're already doing a lot of world building.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's
like that's one thing that I love the most about this episode was the world building is just it's insane. Like,
we're supposed to get a bunch of scrolls in this too, or supposedly hints of the secret invasion. It's coming.
Well, I know. In one of the trailers, they go to Madripoor, I believe is what it's called. And in one of the scenes in the back, there's a bunch of heads that look like scrolls. So, like, I don't know. We're definitely going to get more from this show that people are expecting. But I just love how they're really just everything about this is so humanizing. Like even that moment where they first meet and Bucky says, like, why'd you give up the shield? Like, it wasn't yours to give up. Like, that, it's not just something you can give up. And then Falcon says, like, I've got bigger things to worry about, And then Bucky's like, what would be bigger than this? And obviously, like, real life human shit, like, oh, my family is in financial trouble. And I, they can't afford to keep even our boat that my family used to own and run. So it's like, it's just really cool how they weave in that stuff, and then we got the, like, superhero stuff, and then we've got, like, the supervillain stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, they did a great job.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. I liked it a lot.
But all right, anything else? Any closing thoughts before we wrap it
up? Great episode. I really hope it gets better from here. It's definitely all the problems that I had with the first episode are taken care of in this one. I would say. Any issues that I had were basically cleared up, and they just gave me more than what I asked for, to be honest. And it was a really great episode. I liked it a lot.
Well, I like the realism. I like the nod to today's social problem and what Sam has to go through. And it's kind of like in both, with the whole bank thing in the first one, and now this with the cops. It's kind of like, it's one of those things where I really it shows them like what if you work at like it's kind of like one of those things where I think he didn't want to be Captain America because he probably wasn't going to be accepted. Maybe that's a thing, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like
it. I mean, I just think the show's also doing a great job of hitting that mark of look at how our veterans are treated, you know? Because that's such a huge problem just in real life. So it's like, you know, here are veterans, here are people who, you know, put their lives on the line, and it's like, well, you know, a lot of them are homeless now, or don't have a job, or have like PTSD or something. But Golden pointed out something that I in my mind I was like, is that true? Like I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. But did anybody else notice that John Walker went from clean shaven to like super scruffy beard?
Oh.
It was like when he showed up at the police station to get Bucky out. He's like, for some reason he had like extra gruff on his face compared to like the scene before where they were like in the car and he's like, "Come on guys, it's like a mile walk," like blah blah. It's just if you go back, you might notice it because when I
noticed it, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess I could say maybe a couple days passed by.
I don't know. Because he got arrested and then unless he got arrested and then was in jail for 3 days.
They went
or something.
to fucking. Didn't they go somewhere? At least like Germany or something.
I don't remember exactly what scene it was in, but I do remember what you're talking about, where he just like appeared and had like a fucking 5 o'clock shadow all of a sudden, like.
Yeah, it was in the police department where they were like, "Oh, thanks for bailing him out, Doc," and it was like, "It wasn't me." And then he shows up and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah.
I will say, like, they casted the perfect guy for U.S. Agent to be the most punchable face dude.
Logan Paul is fucking U.S. Agent, literally.
But yeah, I mean, a solid episode. I guess we'll do what we did last time, where we can give it a rating. Like, it is a show, so it's hard to give a rating now and not know all the different pieces that are going to be plugged in later. But just if you were to give this one a rating, what would you give it?
8.5 out of 10. Yeah. Solid 8.5. The lowest I'll give it is an 8.
I'll give it a 9. I think 9 out of 10 is really good. I think it was really good. I think it had everything pretty much. Other than like some little spots here and there, but other than that, I really liked it.
So you're giving it a 9? Damn, that's pretty fucking high. I don't know. I just feel like for me, it's hard to say, like, when it comes to, you know, beat to beat moments and, you know, scenes and like things that happen in this episode. It was engaging and fun and like I laughed. I was serious in certain parts. Like all that stuff was great. So like the episode was really good. But then like, what if later on we get an episode where it's like, this happens and this person died and this shit, like, am I gonna give that one a 9 too? You know what I mean? So it's like you can kind of
like, you can always say 10. Yeah, this is a 10. This is a 10. Does it? One has to be a 10. You know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it an 8. I think 8's solid.
8 is pretty solid.
It's because it's a great episode. It was enjoyable and it definitely opened up a lot of doors to things that are gonna happen later in the future. But yeah, one last thing. Golden pointed out. He said it is confirmed 6 episodes long, and we're already 1/3 done. So this is essentially the beginning. I'm betting episodes 4 and 5 will be the climax episode. Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, I guess we're gonna get into the bulk of it probably towards the later half of this next episode, and then for sure the rest. So yeah, those are our ratings. Goss got an 8.5. Roy said 9. I got an 8, and that's where we'll leave it. Again, we do this every single, pretty much right after the episode airs. So very, very late Thursday night, all the way leading up to Friday at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody who was here in the chat talking about it. I appreciate you guys, and thank you again, Broly and Goss, for staying up and doing this. It's somewhat we're definitely, I mean, we're gonna see if we can do this for, you know, when Loki comes out, and then obviously if I don't know, we got a confirmation that the Black Widow movie is gonna be a Disney Plus like paid. You have to have Disney Plus, and then you have to pay like $20 or $30.
That's not too bad.
So what we're probably gonna do is we're all gonna chip in and just like have a watch party online or something. I don't know. But we'll definitely do a discussion after that. I mean, we don't know how much Black Widow's gonna offer, but I've said it forever that I think the secret after credits scene is gonna be her waking up on Vormir.
God, that's crazy talk.
I think it's gonna happen. Hulk, because there's this moment in Endgame where Hulk looks at, I think it's Thor or it might be Cap, and he says like, "I really tried. Like I thought about bringing her back to really badly," and so I feel like that would be.
He tried his best, and they couldn't do it. If the Infinity Stones couldn't do it, Cosmic Power couldn't do it. Like, wouldn't that be like, yeah, she's dead?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it would be a big reveal and be something crazy. So, and it would make sense for it to be at the end of her movie because you're not expecting it. Like, you have her backstory, and I don't know if they've ever mentioned when the Black Widow movie takes place. I don't know if it's during the 5-year blip or if it's like before then or something. I don't know, but
I was like,
I definitely think it would be so sick if she wakes up on Vormir and that's the ending credits scene.
That would be crazy. That would be insane. I would lose my fucking mind.
That was as soon as Endgame ended, I was like, that's got to be what's. I was like, that's my guess at what's gonna happen, but we'll see. But all right, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week for more of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Bye bye.